I said this before. Let me say, I'll go back to what I was saying. Ojukwu's plan, his ultimate plan was not Eastern region. His ultimate plan was not Biafra. That was the starting point. His ultimate plan was Nigeria. He was going to conquer the Eastern region, conquer the Midwest, conquer the West and Lagos, and then conquer the North. And if you don't believe me, read the book by Adetoun Ogunṣeye. You see the letter that Ojukwu wrote to Victor Banjo. Read Atune Naoro. You see what he said about Ojukwu's plans for Nigeria. Just a terrible person, as far as Nigeria is concerned. Maybe he's a good person in his family, but in Nigerian politics, his plans were not good for us. Let's continue. So what he's saying basically is that Ojukwu had, issued a statement telling Easterners to return to the East and forcing non-Easterners out of the East. But see, what he was really doing was to ensure that whatever space was created by the non-Easterners leaving the East would be filled, whatever vacuum was created would be filled by the Easterners returning to the East. The wrong calculation that he had, though, was that there were more Easterners, and Igbo particularly, outside the Eastern region than there were non-Easterners living in the East. In other words, there were more Igbo people returning than the people he was ejecting. So you have less spaces to fill. You have more people than the spaces available, even after you've ejected the non. So that's the reason he ejected people. It wasn't because he couldn't guarantee safety. He needed to give them jobs when they returned, but then he didn't calculate properly. At least according to this document. Let's continue. So he says here, in the meantime, talking about Douglas, he was working with the Eastern region. It was the Attorney General, Ojukwu was the governor. In the meantime, we had embarked upon a program of deliberate propaganda designed to canvass the woes of Hausa Fulani domination, to inflame the feelings of the peoples of the region with published stories of northern atrocities perpetrated upon innocent Eastern civilians, and inter alia to inculcate in the minds, hey, Jesus is Lord. I've said this thing over and over again, but I'm glad that we're listening to somebody from that time. The plan that the Eastern region government, the plan they had in September of 1966 was to mention over and over again a Fulani domination, a Hausa domination in the East, to inflame the feelings of the people of the region with published stories of northern atrocities perpetrated upon innocent Eastern civilians, and inter alia to inculcate in the minds of the peoples the theme that there could be no suitable alternative open to them to a complete break with the rest of the Federation. No sooner had we launched such a campaign than we began to receive positive, seemingly approbatory results. Our principal propaganda organ at the inception of the campaign was the Nigerian Outlook, the official newspaper of the Eastern Nigeria government, and soon in the pages of this newspaper, alongside our horror stories, were published open letters to Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu, in which he was urged to action along his chosen path. In course of time, the name Republic of Biafra began to feature in the publications. When was this? 66. And that's why I say to Easterners who listen to me, sincerely, you don't know what has been done to you. You are a victim of propaganda, not the victim of Nigeria or the victim of everything. And I'm not saying Nigeria is perfect, but I'm just saying that the propaganda has hurt you more than any other thing that's happened in the Eastern region. This is one of the people that planned it and is telling you exactly what they did. If you like, believe him. Hopefully you will believe him. In the meantime too, he had begun to recruit young men, almost entirely Igbos, for training for the prospective Biafran army. This exercise commenced almost immediately after the departure from the East of soldiers of non-Eastern Nigeria origin. At the very inception of the crisis, there came into prominence a caucus of trusted advisors who were readily available to the military governor for consultation. Some of its members were the military governor's own clansmen, some of whom were admittedly close relatives of his. It is probably on account of this aspect of the matter that the rebel regime came in due course to be referred to as Ojukwu and his Nnewi clique by many commentators. Before long, this clandestine yet patently identifiable body came to all intents and purposes to replace the executive committee of the region as the principal policy-making body. In other words, a family affair.